entitled Dad and Brother Try to Control a Trip They Won't Be Going On. Background: I 20am have been having a rough year. I've been attending college and before recently was on a streak of poor or failing grades that lasted 2 quarters through a combination of burnout, poor management, and plain old depression. This has delayed my advancement to a bachelor's to next year. Luckily, I'm doing much better this quarter due to a lighter load and making extra sure I don't start slipping. So recently the 4th My Hero Academia movie released in theaters. I've been following the manga for about 2 years, and I've been re-watching it with my mother recently, so we were planning on going to see it. However, I was only about 3 to 4 weeks into the quarter and I was paranoid about slipping back into the previous 2 quarters. So, I delayed it until my midterms were over and I was confident that I wasn't just going to go 3 for 3 and truly screw myself over. The issue is that I wasn't aware that anime movies don't stay in theaters as long as normal movies. In the week or 2 that I had put it off, the theaters near me had already stopped showing it. However, there was one place still showing it a couple hours away, so not all hope was lost. I'm still doing training for my driver's license, so I made a plan to go bus hopping to go see it. It would take a while, but it wasn't like I had anything pressing besides work or school, the woes of having all your friends at distant colleges. My mother had only reached season 6, the movie takes place early in season 7, so I was just going to see it now and watch it again with her once it went onto streaming services. I inform my family of my plans and entitled Dad immediately declares that it's not going to happen. He made some decent points like the possibility of being stranded if something wrong and the bus failed, the cost of the bus fare, how hard it would be to reach me if something went wrong. But the core of his argument was literally just it's dumb and referencing a time last year when I took a train to visit a friend a city over and the bus was late, resulting in a delay. He twisted this into me being an hour late and needing to be picked up before I reached the destination. Because of that, I was always going to be picked up at the last leg, it was either that or walk 15 minutes. Refusing to listen to what had actually happened. Upon hearing this, my mother offered to just drive together since she did not care as much as I had assumed about seeing the movies in the correct chronological order. We eventually worked out a time, I bought the tickets, and everything seemed fine. I made it clear to her that she didn't need to go just for me, and I thought that was that. Then Ed found out. He immediately goes straight to me to repeat that this is dumb and shouldn't be happening. The problem is that all his valid arguments from before were nullified by the fact that I was going with someone else and not relying on the bus system. So, all he had left was saying it's dumb to drive an hour and a half to see a movie and what I'm about to get to next. The counter to the first point that my brother drives longer to see his concerts on the regular was met with a simple "they're not the same," with no attempt at anything deeper. They really aren't. They're both entertainment, so it just comes down to how much enjoyment you get out of it. I detest crowds and loud noise, so I wouldn't go to a concert the same way my brother wouldn't drive to the movie. Furthermore, Ed framed the delay as a failing on my part, telling me to stop using it as an excuse and just accept my punishment. He continually hammered home that I could have made time for it, but I chose not to, refusing to see it as anything but a scheduling issue rather than a priority one. But then came the worst of it. Ed and my brother spent the next couple days trying to convince me that no, my mother didn't actually want to see the movie. She was only going because I wanted to, and in the words of my brother, that's why she tolerates the show. They reiterated that I was pressuring her into wasting an entire day just to make me happy. I genuinely felt awful that I might be taking up a bunch of her time to do something she had no interest in. So I called her up. She spends most of her time recently at the old house she is renovating to rent out, and made it expressly clear to her that she didn't need to do this if she didn't want to, that I could ultimately wait the 6 months for it to hit streaming platforms, and she reconfirmed that she wanted to go see it with me. Let me remind you that this is a trip that they're not going on, that doesn't impact them in any way. They just feel the need to override what the people going on the trip want because they're convinced that they know better. But they kept bringing it up with the same points as the planned date drew closer. That I was selfish for going through with this, that I didn't actually care about what she wanted and just wanted to see my movie, that I needed to be the bigger person and tell her to cancel it instead of just giving her the option to do it. They kept telling me that my mother was lying to me, that I shouldn't trust what I heard or saw, but that they were right. And when I didn't have a response to "we're right no matter what she says or what you see," my brother would smugly claim, "You don't have response, you know we're right." And every conversation would end with Ed incoherently shrieking at me that I needed to cancel it and stop being selfish. Even calling up my mother to check again that she wanted to go, and her eventually deciding to directly talk to them just got Ed to go to me immediately afterwards to start another rant. And as always, no new points were made. The day finally came. My mother and I left early to catch the noon screening. I paid for the tickets and gas, and we had a great time. We listened to OSP's hour-long Mummy video on the way over, chatted about fantasy as I tried and failed to explain Warhammer to her, and grabbed some lunch. The movie was, well, an anime movie, mostly just build up to the final fight scene, but the animation was fantastic. The villain really carried the movie with his sheer pure evil flair. And my mother enjoyed the romantic subplot between the movie original characters. I would have preferred that they used the female lead of the series more, but that's a criticism shared for all the movies. We drove back, and while we did get stuck in a traffic pileup that delayed us an hour, we both thought it was a satisfying day. Ed and my brother still dismissed the whole thing as completely stupid, and my brother in particular made comments about how he'd seen the movie and it was absolutely not worth it. He also says the same thing about the series, but I've seen the merch on his shelves. He's got way more than I do. Seems he doesn't like enjoying the popular thing, even weeks afterwards. Moving on to story 2. Ada for being hurt that my MIL wanted to exclude my daughter from Thanksgiving and Christmas to protect my sale. I 31F am married to my husband Tyler, 32M, and I gave birth to our first child, a baby girl, almost 3 months ago. I love Tyler very much, and I always felt grateful that I married into the family I did. I grew up with a single mom and it was always just the two of us. I love my mother dearly, but I always wished I had a larger family unit with siblings when I was a little. My mom passed away from ovarian cancer about 2 years ago, and so now I truly don't have family apart from my in-laws. By contrast, my husband's parents are happily married and he's one of 4 children. Everyone has always been kind and welcoming to me, and I always have a blast at their holidays and family reunions. The only exception is Tyler's twin sister Ashley. Since I met her, Ashley has been cool and standoffish towards me, especially compared to her friendly younger brothers and parents. She's never been outright mean to me, but she's also never made much of an effort to ask me questions or get to know me. I know she also has some resentment towards Tyler, and sometimes comments on the fact that he's the favorite and that everything comes easy to him. Some of her comments irk me, since I know how hard Tyler has worked for his success and also see that he has struggles he doesn't share with the family since he doesn't like to burden others. I've never said anything about the comments, since Tyler accepts it's the way she is and doesn't get too bothered by her. Even though Ashley and I are far from best friends, I've been sad to learn that she's had a hard time getting pregnant. She and her husband have been trying for around 2 years now, and she recently had a miscarriage. I've tried to be mindful of what she's going through, and intentionally avoided talking about my pregnancy and now baby around her. I even declined my MIL's offer to throw me a baby shower, since I thought it would be difficult for Ashley with everything going on. With that being said, the entire family has been incredibly excited about my daughter. My husband is the first of his siblings to have a child, and so it's an exciting time and transition for the family. Yesterday, my MIL and FIL came to our house for dinner. My MIL said she had something difficult to speak with us about, and stared talking about what a hard few years it's been for Ashley. My MIL said Ashley is excited for us, but it's painful to see me with an infant when she's wanted to be a mother for so long. She said Ashley is dreading the holidays because she's worried everyone will be focusing on and fussing over the new baby. My MIL said that she was looking forward to spending the holidays with us, especially since it's our daughter's first Thanksgiving and Christmas, but she's trying to think of her daughter's feelings as well. My MIL basically asked if we could either sit out on the family Thanksgiving and Christmas this year or hire sitter to watch our daughter so all the focus won't be on her. My MIL even floated the idea of me staying home with the baby, and my husband stopping by quickly to say hello. My husband was livid. He said that Ashley should be the one to stay home if she can't manage her emotions, and my MIL said that Ashley is going through a lot and needs her family right now. My husband said he's not celebrating the holidays with the family unless the baby and I are both included. I started crying, which surprised everyone, since I rarely show emotion. I said that I feel terrible for Ashley, but I'm incredibly sad and disappointed that my daughter is being excluded. I explained that I don't have family now that my mother is gone, and so I really want my child to have a strong bond with her grandparents, uncles, and aunt. My MIL said there will be opportunities in the future for her to bond with the family. I said I don't think I'll feel welcomed in the future now that I know they're so willing to exclude both myself and my daughter. I said it's sad that we're clearly not viewed as an important part of the family since my MIL was so quick to suggest we both stay home. I said I understand that Ashley is her daughter, and so her loyalty will always be to her first, but also, I'm very hurt by the request. My MIL started to backtrack and said that she loves me and her granddaughter very much and that this clearly wasn't the right way to handle the situation. She said she was trying to do the right thing, but she didn't spend enough time thinking everything through. My husband was still fuming, and asked his parents to leave even though his mom was crying and begging to work things out. I've gotten several calls from my MIL today. I know I should give her a call and hear what she has to say, but I'm still so hurt. My husband is also upset, and doesn't want to participate in the holidays this year. Maybe I'm being selfish under the circumstances, but I can't believe how easily they could exclude my baby. Am I the asshole? Thanks for tuning in to today's story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button to show your support. Love diving into more stories like these? Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell icon so you never miss out on the latest uploads. And hey, if you know someone who'd love these stories, be sure to share this video with them. Stay tuned for more amazing stories coming your way soon.